Good evening, class. My pleasure to welcome you to our online class today. We shall be running over our class for the week. General ecology for 304. It's been a great opportunity for me to take this course for the past 7 weeks. And I hope you guys have benefited from all that we have been doing each week. So today will be for us to more like reverse, go through all the PowerPoints that were presented for each week. Kind of revision, possibly to revise, to refresh our mind regarding what has been taught. And if there's any questions or questions to be asked, and we can use the discussion forum for us to sort it out. So what I would do is just to briefly run through what we've been doing for the week. For topic 1, we did the study of ecosystem. We look at terminologies that are used to describe the ecosystem, types of ecosystem, functions of ecosystem, and interactions of animals with the environment. We did present some PowerPoints, and we're going to reverse that. This topic 2 was on the cycling of nutrients in ecosystem. We look at all the different types of nutrients, the nitrogen, the oxygen, the carbon, the water cycle, phosphorus, and so on and so forth. Those are what we did on 2nd week. The 3rd week was interaction of succession in ecosystem. We look at the 2 types of successions we have with the primary succession and the secondary succession. And we also look at the different types of succession. We're going to look at it again. Population dynamics, week 4. Week 5 was biological communities, the aquatic and terrestrial communities that we have, aquatic, and the biomass influence of man on the environment. So those are what we did for the past 7 weeks. So today, which happens to be the last of the class, will be for revision. So as usual, I want to start with screen sharing. What we have been doing. Okay. All right, so that was ecology of terrestrial and aquatic animals. No, we didn't do this. It was for about 313. Let's see. About 313. The cycling of nutrient. All right, and that was the second topic for the week. And it was to intimate the class of the substances or the different types of nutrients we have. Carbon, which is in the form of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, also have oxygen. And we also remember that we had phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, magnesium, calcium, sodium, iron, and copper. These are the different, and what we consider were the major ones that are relevant to the existence of man. The other ones are in little quantity, but not as important, like iron, tobacco, and the rest. But for carbon, it's important. Nitrogen is important for plant roots. Oxygen, as we know, either in atmospheric form or in dissolved form. And phosphorus also are needed in much quantity for plant survival. And says that these nutrients either exist in the atmosphere or they can be found in water or in rock. So we had a chart that showed us the water cycle and the biochemical processes where you have the primary producer, the consumer, the composer, and the non-living biotic nutrients, as we can see in the chart. Other ones on the right hand side was water cycle. How water uh, uh, how water is formed in the atmosphere through evaporation and transpiration. Transpiration is through plant. Evaporation can be seen on surface, water body surface. And we have run-ups, and so on and so forth. So that was a simple chart to show a simple water cycle. And we went on to talk about the interaction between nutrient cycles, that the burning of fossil fuel, for example, not only put large amounts of carbon into the atmosphere, it also increased the amount of atmospheric nitrogen. That is why there is clamor as to the reduction of this activity. We said that interdependence of the nutrient cycle is obvious when one considers nutrient cycle through organisms. So there is an interrelationship that exists between the nutrient cycles and living organisms. And that is why when a herbivore eats a plant or carnivore, it ingests at one, goes into the carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus, but oxygen, carbon, and other ones are found in the organisms. So that was what we quickly did on the aspects of the biological ecology of terrestrials and aquatic. Next, we did was on population dynamic. And talk about population dynamics as a population or collection of individuals of same species that live together in a region. Population ecology is a study of population, especially population abundance and how they change over time. We also understand that a population can decline because it lacks resources, can decline because it's rare to other species that are increasing in number. So population regulations are affected by two factors, either abiotic or biotic factor. We said we also look at what carrying capacity is as the maximum population abundance an environment can sustain over time. And we look at population pyramids. You can see three states, like United States, Kenya, and Australia. All population looks like. In that of United States, we have a stable population declining. That's what we can see in Australia. More of post reproductive age, whereas what you have in Kenya, our expanding population, we have more of pre-reproductive stage. A better diagram to show is what we have here on the slides. You can see expanding, stable, and diminishing population. Now we also talked about what survivorship compensates, just to show how mortality varies age of the individuals of the cohort. These describes in three types. Type 1 occurs when survival of young is high and mortality increase drastically towards the end of the lifespan. This type of curve is very typical of very protective lifestyle. Yes. Then the next was a type 2 survivorship curve, where mortality is constant with age, as in a decay process. And the final of the curve was where most individuals die when they're young, while other individuals are good survivor or survival. So here it's a chart to show type 1, type 2, and type 3. survivorship forms, and these are found in different organisms. That's of humans, what we have in type 1. In birds, what we can see in type 2. And for frogs, reptiles, found in type 3. And then we also talk about the differences in owl and case strategy. Said that these, for owl, they have a short lifespan. For the K, they have a long lifespan. The owls produce large quantity, lack the basic instincts to take care of their young ones, whereas the K produce a small quantity and very much to take care of their young ones. So those are the differences, and I think I asked the class to also do some activity regarding which group of these strategy do humans exhibits. Before we also look at other factors that regulates population, like immigration, mortality, immigration. And we said these factors gives two growth patterns, which are exponential growth and logistic growth pattern. And we also talk about life table. It's often a simple method for keeping tracks of birds, deaths, and reproductive output in a population of interest. And then we have about 3 examples of a life table that is shown. One is a stage dependent life table. The other one is a static life table based on living individuals. And the other one is static life table based on mortality records. We also went over talk about other factors that regulate population. Said density dependent factors or density independent factors. Yes, those are what we also consider during that week. And we mentioned space, food and water, territory, predictor and relationship. All the factors that affect that are density dependent and one are density independent factor, the lights, so on and so forth. So that was what we did that week. Then we now went over talk about the aphines and aquatic palms. And we said the aphines shrublands are sometimes found above the tree lines on mountains. They're found in South America, Africa, New Zealand. The vegetation in this high location is like that of the mountain of East Africa, described as the Afro-aphines. We have trees that are as tall as 5 to 8 meters in height, and species like hyrax, rats, and mouse are found in this region. We also have the grassland. In grasslands are found high up the mountain where the climates might be thought to be similar to the climates near the pool. Plants on the mountains are small and tend to grow slowly with beautiful, delicate, brightly colored flowers. And plants as the aphid mammoths are found, and therefore throughout the half of Central Europe. We also look at other freshwater palms that are found in bogs, swamps, marshes, lakes, ponds, rivers, and streams. Swamp and marshes are forms where water runs off the surrounding lands and collects as a result of impended drainage, or where groundwater lies close to the surface. Primary productivity is low, with only small population of herbivores such as insects, ants, and bugs, which are found in this region. We also look at the tropical freshwater swamp forest. This is the best developed tropical freshwater swamp forests are those of the Amazon basin in South America. They are dominated by trees very rich in minerals and other natural resources. We have the temperate freshwater swamp forests, the lakes and the ponds, the streams, and the rivers found in this region. So the world vegetation type is known as the BAMs. BAMs are climatically and geographically defined area of ecologically similar characteristics and appearance of communities of plant, animals, and soil organisms. They are defined by factors such as plant structure, which can be trees, shrubs, and grasses, the leaf types, such as broadleaves and needle leaves, plant spacing, like forest, woodland, savanna, and so on and so forth. Then I'll talk about ocean or marine biomes, where we have those ones that are found in the coastal and intertidal zones around the world. They include the marine rocky shore, marine sandy beach, marine mud flats, temperate salt marsh, mangrove swamp, coral reef, marine surface pelagic, marine deep pelagic, continental shelf benches, and deep ocean benches. So these were the examples we considered as we look at the aphane and the aquatic biomes. Then was we've done this. Okay. Yeah, we look at man and the environment. That was almost the last of it considered. And we said that human population is increasing in such a way that this is placing a stress on the environment. And these affected availability of food and water. Great amounts of energy is being used. Raw materials that are produced are enormous. Some of them have been wastes, leading to what they call pollution. And we'll look at different types of pollution, what we know as chemical pollution, industrial pollution, production of acid rain, carbon dioxide, and global warming. Most of these chemicals from industries have been released like effluent into the environment and is affecting the aquatic biota. Same with industrial production of acid waste. As you know, reaction of this chemical with water leads to acidity of our water body as the rain falls to the ground. We talk about ozone layer, the layer that covers the Earth's stratosphere. Something has been completed because of release of gases. These gases led to deflection of the ozone, so that we have intensity of the ultraviolet ray from the sun affecting plants and animals. Carbon dioxide and global warming. Carbon dioxide release of this substance to the atmosphere, hereby building up heat, and where we have what they call global warming. Then we talk about nuclear pollution, deforestation, loss of biodiversity as another factor where humans have negatively impacted on the environment. Some of the electricities are generated from nuclear plants. We had cases where these plants have been leaked. Nuclear radiation have been leaked, causing havoc. Canopy, for example, Japan recently had when there was flooding, and it was disastrous because the negative impacts these have always leading to what we know as cancer. Deforestation ever has to do with unnecessary felling of trees without recourse to replanting. And we know what this has done. This has exposed our soil to erosion. That leads to increase in the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And, if we have trees around, they trap. What they do is to use them to manufacture their food and release oxygen. Loss of biodiversity, so many of our species have been lost due to indiscriminate hunting of these species. And these have really affected some of them. Some have been threatened, some have been endangered, some have been lost over time. So it becomes a problem. And that is why there is need for human look inward and see what we can do to restore the environment. So that was what we did last week, which was our last topic. We enjoyed ourselves. One or two class activity. I've not seen any of you answering or responding. So I was thinking of having one or two students in case they have any questions to ask. I'm saying there's none. There's no way I can ask myself questions. So what I will do is that I will upload the video in case, then I will try to update the discussion forum. I know I've not done enough so that get responses from you people. I'll update the discussion forum. Then I'll upload all the videos so that you can have a glimpse of what we've been doing each week. I heard your exam will be coming up on the 18th. So I think we still have about 2 weeks for you guys to put your hearts together and get ready. All right, so that's where we shall be ending a recorded video for today. It might be an interesting one. Whatever questions you have, please don't hesitate to let me know. So you can send anything, any message to me through my email account, gmail.com. Thank you. God bless.